All right, welcome back to Steeler Thoughts and Chief Feelings, episode 45, Chris Fuamatu Ma'afala episode. I am your co-host, Chris, not Fuamatu Ma'afala. Um, I'm the philosophy professor and the Steelers fan here.
I am Ajay Nair. I am the psychiatrist and the Chiefs fan here. And if this is the second time you're watching this, you're like really a real one. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. But I'm imagining for most of you, you don't realize that we tried to go live and it worked for about 25 minutes, and then my computer decided to completely go crazy. So we're doing this again. Um, Hopefully, we'll be able to start going live at some point this year when I figure out the technology, and that'll be a fun wrinkle. But I remembered just now to do my comment of the week. Those of you that follow along on social media, whether that's here on the YouTube channel or on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter at STCF715, you'll know that I post some stuff. And when I remember, I try to get a comment. And so I posted a short where I said, basically talked about Sean Payton. And it starts with me saying that Sean Payton is essentially John Gruden without the racist emails. And one of those quotes, one of my favorite comments we've gotten ever, probably, a guy named Lions, or a woman named Lions Locks, said, it was saying like the John Gruden had racist emails, and just the reply was, Sean Payton's emails aren't very different. I would bet you, him, and Payton are good friends. I don't know why that was so funny to me. It's just like, okay.
Uh, well, if we have Sean Payton's emails and there's something in there, I think Lions Lock should be spilling them. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And apparently I somehow have the similar viewpoint to them too.
yeah. I
So,
mean, if you've got a Jay's emails too, spill them, right?
yeah, spill them. I want to see them.
Uh, yeah. If I assume, yeah, it could be talking
That
about me
line
too. So
was
we
just,
got
I
mine
just
covered.
loved the, like, I bet you all would be great friends. I was like, okay. I can't even articulate why it makes me laugh so much, but I just find it really funny.
You all are great friends. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Um, well, I don't know what to make of that, but anyway. So to transition without a good segue, uh, we had real football action last week. Um, we need to talk about it. So I guess our agenda is really to focus on the Chiefs and Steelers games and maybe just mention some other. I mean, there were plenty of fun games this week or last week because now it's Thursday. But lots to digest from week one, I guess.
Yeah. Um, I guess when we did this the first time, we did the bad news first. Do we want to do that, or do we want to switch it up and do good news first?
I mean, I'm happy doing bad news first. uh, it wasn't all bad as we ended up talking about. But yeah, so let's go to Chiefs Chargers last Friday in Brazil. Which was, I guess, the first time the Chargers beat the Chiefs since 2021. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a nice
It was
streak.
it was also an early in the year. I believe that was a week three loss. Um, so another early in the year. So it's good. I mean, that year ended up really fun because that was the year we then went to LA and we played, I think it was the last Thursday night football game that was on Fox, and we beat them in overtime. Touchdown pass to Travis Kelce in overtime. So if we repeated something like that, that would be fun. But the early season loss was not as fun. I will say, those of you, now that we're hearing this on Thursday instead of on Tuesday, I have had 2 more days of cope, so I feel like I'm even more optimistic than I was on Tuesday. Like, just reframing everything positively in my mind. Um, like I said before, I don't know why I keep referencing this podcast that no one listened to on Tuesday because
Well, you
when
did
we went
say it.
live.
I'll vouch for you. I said,
But the offense was actually good in this game. The the offense played well after the first three drives were punts, and then after that, we scored on every drive. Uh, and aside from the missed extra point, which ultimately cost us 2 points because we would have had extra points on both of the touchdowns. I think that the offense did pretty well, and Mahomes I thought was really good. I got a chance to look even a little more in depth on some of the plays that we mentioned in this podcast that none of you will listen to, and Mahomes really did play well. Uh, I think the beginning can be kind of chalked up to Xavier Worthy's absence and how much the offensive game plan was going to rely on him, and how rusty Hollywood Brown was. One of the things that the Chiefs beat reporter from ESPN, Nate Taylor, said was that, Hollywood Brown has not played a lot of football over the last 2 years. So, this was the most he's been involved in a game plan in a very long time. And you could see it kind of getting to him early on. And then he kind of adjusted as the game went on and the offense looked better. The main factor, though, was Mahomes just being like, I'm going to take over this game. And he did from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, he was making crazy Mahomes plays, right? The one that stands out to me was the scramble left and then sidearm pass back toward the middle of the field. I don't remember who that was
It was
caught by.
Juju.
Juju. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, good to see him he did some good things in this game too. So, probably because of the injury to Worthy mostly, but
Well, also like always, guess who was like blocking to give Mahomes the pylon on his touchdown run? It was Juju. Like it's always whenever there's like a play being made that's unheralded, it seems like it's always Juju. I never thought. I mean, not that I liked him when he was a Steeler, but I had no idea how much I was gonna like him. He's become like, how everyone likes the stars on their team, and I think that's even more so with like guys like Mahomes and Kelsey. But then you kind of low key have like a favorite player who you sometimes feel even more positive things toward than the stars, and that's what Juju's becoming for me. It's just like
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a
just
good
does
that's a
all the
good
little things.
question. We should talk about this at some point. Like
Yeah.
who are your favorite non-heralded players? Unheralded? Unheralded.
And I
Heralded?
feel like weirdly enough, sometimes you like the unheralded guys even more than your stars because it's like of course you're gonna like your stars. Like that's not exciting, but I feel like when you're a real fan, there are like a couple people that you're like, no, like this is the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Steelers fans, Miles Killebrew is that guy for me. He's like, I mean, he is a special teams captain, but like no one knows who he is. But he's like, watch an interview with him. If you ever need to like feel better, like I don't know, maybe this won't work for everybody. Well, like watch an interview with Miles Killebrew. It's awesome. Um, yeah. Is Juju still like that in interviews? Is he like I remember him being so likable in press conferences and whatnot.
Yeah, he's very peppy, very upbeat. I wonder like how now that he's not like one of the younger players in the league, whether his demeanor, because I haven't seen him like on social media videos very much. After having kids, like my amount of content I get week to week is so low. Like I watch the games and watch the film and very much else, little else. I like listen to podcasts while I'm walking around the city. That's about it. Like so,
Yeah.
I feel like back in 2022, I was paying a lot more attention to what Juju was saying week to week than now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Well, I'm wondering more and more like how much you can predict about teams from like interviews and press conferences and what, like reading their attitudes that are like not really captured by what they like the words they said, but the way they said it. Sometimes I get the impression, like for example, well, we can talk more about this later, but like I watched a bunch of Steelers interviews recently, and I extrapolated some things. It might be wrong or right, but like it's like an interesting challenge to try to make predictions that way as opposed to make them based on the plays on the field and the schemes and whatnot.
I will say I feel like I don't know how possible it is or not for any individual. I don't feel like I've really tried that very much. I will say that the talking heads that I hear do that, it feels like it's a combination of like confirmation bias and hindsight bias.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of like multiple people will look at the same thing and they'll just use it to follow the narrative they already have about the team. Like,
Mhm.
For example, when Drew Tranquil yelled, "Do your job" at Chris Jones at the end of the Chiefs game, people that think the Chiefs are going to be good this year are like, look at the leaders holding each other accountable. And people that think they're going to be bad are like, look, there's already infighting. Like, I feel like that just happens all the time with these.
Yeah, I could see that. And yeah, I mean, there's a whole yeah, I think there's like a train of thought here that just takes us down a complete rabbit hole. But that yeah, that's a good debate to have at some point. Like, well, like does that work? That way of trying to make predictions about the team. But anyway, let's talk more about this game here. So so Worthy goes down on the third offensive snap. But there's so you were saying there's been some updates since then, right? So like you want to bring us up to speed?
Yeah. So typically with a dislocated shoulder, the idea is about whether you can maintain stability. And if you can't, then you have to do surgery and the year is over. My understanding, not being an orthopedic surgeon, is that you'd kind of wait a couple weeks and see how stable it is. Yet we have found out that today Xavier Worthy practiced. It was a limited participant, but he actually did like receiver drills where they would like have you catch a pass and then they'd have the guys like swatting at you with stuff. And so they're clearly not that worried about his shoulder. So who knows? Like maybe it was a very minor dislocation, and I still would be shocked if he played this week. But the fact that he's practicing means like, could he play next week? Like I don't know. So hopefully he doesn't re-injure it, because I tell you what, if it comes out again, he's definitely going to be out for the year. I think it would be really unlikely. So they're
Yeah.
going to try to just brace it up, and more than likely he's going to need surgery in the off season. The question is whether they can just keep it stable through the year.
Is that so? Is he on like the word is? Is there any word about his sort of injury designation for this week? Is he likely? Is he doubtful, or there's just
That's a good question. I don't know what the injury designation. I mean, I didn't even bother looking at the injury report until I found out he practiced,
yeah,
because like I just thought there was no chance. Like I didn't know why anyone would think he was going to play, and then he practiced. Let's see.
yeah.
So yeah, they haven't done the designations yet for the game status. So he's just listed as limited practice for this week.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
It's weird, isn't it weird that we don't have probable? I mean, maybe it's not weird that we don't have probable. I just like haven't adjusted to the fact that we don't have probable as an injury designation status anymore. Um, is that because everyone that was ever probable just played?
I don't know. I actually was not even aware that they dropped the probable status.
I
I didn't
don't
even know.
think it exists anymore officially. Um, you're either questionable or doubtful or out.
Hmm.
Um, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was a couple, maybe more than a couple years ago now. But anyway,
It's possible.
so let's talk more, I guess, about the offensive performance, right? So your take after a couple days is that it was well, even if I will vouch for you, like you said, it was a good offensive performance a few days ago too,
In the forgotten episode,
right?
the lost
The
episode,
hidden episode.
hidden episode. Yeah, it's true. It still exists. It's just hidden. Um, but yeah, the offense played well. And if we were to break it up component by component, I think that I liked the way Tyquan Thornton looked. I thought Hollywood Brown, this was the most usage he'd had as a Chief by a lot. The worry I had was the run blocking, because the Chargers gave us light boxes a lot, and we didn't run the ball much, but when we did, we didn't really create a lot of movement like I would expect against the light blocks. But the offensive line pass protected way better than last year. It wasn't like it was a perfect game, but this was far, far better than what we were used to. Um, so all in all, I thought the offense was good. Juju is Juju. Like he's been reliable, great in the scramble drill. We weren't really going to Kelsey very much, and it wasn't like he was being doubled a lot. It really looked like there was a concerted effort to spread the ball around, even on key downs. which makes me wonder if it's more like getting reps for other guys that, you need to get used to us coming to you on a big play. Because I will say one thing, and it's the guy, Cody Alexander, the guy who does the Match Quarter Substack. He had a great breakdown of the Eagles game plan against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And they were finding ways to get two on Kelsey and sometimes three almost all the time. And the Chiefs had no answers to anything. It was clever to a degree that when I did my film review, like I did not see the things that he was pointing out. But they did a lot of like adjusting coverage plans just to make sure that they had multiple eyes on Kelsey. And so I wonder if that's part of like Andy's like, okay, like for this game, we don't have a lot of third down plays for Kelsey. We're going to go elsewhere, and guys need to get used to being called upon. Because I can only think of one situation where there was a fairly big play that the Chiefs couldn't make, that it was because they had a robber on the cover one come in and double Kelsey essentially.
Which play is that?
There was it's running together, but it was a play if like close to the red zone, and they had run Kelsey across the formation. I'm trying to remember where Mahomes threw it on this play, and I can't remember. I just remember Kelsey coming in across the formation and the robber coming to double.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't remember the outcome of the play though.
But
It was later in the game if I remember correctly.
yeah. What Kelsey only what? He catch two passes in this one?
Yeah, I think he had 2 for 47 in the touchdown.
Yeah. I mean the touchdown we were saying in the last episode, I mean he looked good. He looked fast on it. That was a younger looking Kelsey, I thought.
Yeah, and it was like a very well schemed up play. And honestly, since we talked last time about it, we talked about how they ran Thornton up against the cover three to run off the corner. Then they faked a screen below, like a swing pass to Brashard Smith to keep the underneath defenders, and Kelsey just kind of leaked in between and was wide open. The other part of the play that I didn't mention that the film analyst on Twitter, Ted Wen, brought up was that the Chargers actually ran a corner blitz from the other side. And so like the typical thing for a quarterback to do there, it was a free runner, was that you would just like throw hot immediately. But Mahomes knew he had this, so he actually just rolled away from the blitz to buy enough time to throw it. And like now that I watch it with that perspective, you just think about how quickly he must have been thinking. Like he had so one of the things that has been talked about in the last couple of weeks by a couple film analysts and by some former Chiefs was that the kind of the superpower that Mahomes has, in addition to his like antics after like running around and ad-libbing, is he's apparently one of the best like pre-snap readers of the game. And it gets him into trouble sometimes because based on what he sees pre-snap, he assumes things will be covered if the defense plays things correctly, but defenders make mistakes and he doesn't go back to those things that pop open because defenders made mistakes. He just assumes that things will go the way that they're supposed to go. So it feels like he knew this play was going to pop open pre-snap, and he's right when he sees the blitz, he's like, nope, I got to buy like half a second to make sure that this pops open and I can get this pass off.
Yeah. Does that so they sent a corner blitz from the offensive left side, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he rolled right into the throw.
Did the safety in the middle of the field, did the safeties rotate because of the corner blitz? Did someone go like it was cover three, but did they like do anything
Yeah,
to
so the
fill the hole?
safety, did they, no, because they ended up shifting, the underneath defenders all shifted right because of the swing pass.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So like one safety came down and joined and they shifted to the offense's right. The other safety was down in the middle of the field, essentially like not involved in the play. And Tyquan Thornton ran the corner a little bit inside so that he created that gap that Kelsey could get to on the side. So they ended up running like that scissor route,
Yeah.
essentially. But Thornton, I thought, did a wonderful job of, because if you take that too far in, the corner passes it off to the safety and will come back out. But he did a good job of staying enough outside that it was still considered the corner's responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. So the route was just designed to take the corner off of Kelsey or the the safety off of Kelsey so that Kelsey could get open there. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. It sounds like they must have just like known like when we get cover three, we're gonna run this in that area of the
Right.
field. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else about the offense should we talk about? We talk about the running backs, which were, I guess, I mean, you talked about the running game, the blocking on the offensive line's part, but like, what was your read on the running backs themselves?
I don't know that it was kind of hard to assess them because I don't think they were given a ton of opportunity. Pacheco had that one good run. It was weird. It was a run to the left side, and Josh Simmons, the left tackle, ended up coming all the way outside. And Kurt Warner actually pointed out in the broadcast that like there was nobody out there with Josh Simmons. That if Pacheco had bounced that run outside, he might have just gone in for a touchdown. This was on our first drive, or our first scoring drive, so the field goal drive. That being said, like the way it was blocked by the receivers, and like it looks like it was supposed to go where Pacheco cut it up. I'm not really 100% sure what Josh Simmons was doing out there. Like maybe I don't know. But it doesn't look like Pacheco made like a bad read. I thought people online were making a lot of assumptions and basically being like, oh, he should have seen this. Like, this is where it was designed. Or they were even assuming like Andy Reid designed it so that he could get outside. It doesn't look like that, seeing the way. Like, it's clearly seemed to be blocked to create a hole where he ended up going. But I don't know how to explain why Josh Simmons was like galloping free out in the flat. I'm not sure.
I mean, like someone probably was doing something wrong. Now the question is, like Pacheco and the other blockers or Josh Simmons. It sounds fairly likely that it was probably Simmons, but yeah. It's interesting, like how readily you can make a fool of yourself if you don't know the play, right? Like,
Yeah.
it can be quite apparent. But I guess one other question I had about the offense is like so I want to try to gauge like how much you think how much better it would have been if Worthy hadn't gotten hurt. I know it's very hard to gauge because I saw 3 plays of Worthy, but like they were talking in the broadcast booth about having a heavy game plan for Worthy. And can you extrapolate like what what might the Chiefs have scored in this game if Worthy was not hurt so early? Suppose he
I
makes it
mean,
through the whole.
yeah, I'm betting we don't punt on the first 3 drives. I mean, if Worthy and for the Worthy injury, I think you also have to really credit Derwin James because someone pointed this out to me actually in the comments of my film review that I do think there was a component to both Kelsey and Worthy that made them run into each other, but as the commenter said, like I probably in the film review didn't give enough credit to how much Derwin James like got in Kelsey's way to blow up the concept and ended up preventing Kelsey from getting more depth and contributed to them running into each other. But I bet like that play looked like it would have gone for a lot of like we would have got a first down if they didn't run into each other. And Worthy basically all the plays that Hollywood Brown didn't make in the first couple of drives, I think Worthy does. Yeah, so I do think it's a different, and I think it took the wind out of the team's sails a little bit. Like, I don't know that they really recovered until it was a little too late. And the combination of Worthy getting going out and the Chargers having a really good offensive game plan, I think it was just kind of like, wow, their offense looks good, and we just lost one of the guys we were relying on. It was a lot to stomach, I think, very early in the game.
Yeah. Plus, like this happens. I mean, I mentioned this already in the hidden version, but like you have the worst wide receiver luck that that I can think of. Right? It's just like every year it feels like you're missing your top 1 or 2 wide receivers, and here we are again.
And it's always friendly fire recently. Like
Yeah.
Mahomes injured Rice, and
Yeah.
now Kelsey injured Worthy.
Yeah. But we should mention the Rice situation too, because again, we updated you, but then that was the hidden episode, so it's a hidden update. So where are things with Rice now? Since we last talked, I think when we last talked, it was a while back, and he was the suspension hearing was going to be September 30th or something, right?
Yeah, and as I detailed in the hidden episode, This was a masterclass in negotiation by the NFL, in my opinion, because really what it seems like, if you kind of read the tea leaves and what different people are reporting, is that the NFL wanted a very lengthy suspension for Rashee Rice, so like 10 to 12 games. And they really wanted to make an example of him because he was on video fleeing the scene of the crime. And we all know that in the NFL, if there's video of something, it makes it way worse, even if you did something even more terrible and there's no video. It's the video that seems to be the problem. It's the image that seems to be the problem for the NFL. I think they're pretty open about how they operate like a business, not like a moral entity. Um, and so they wanted to make it, and he's on a high profile team and he's a name that a lot of people know. So they tend to, I think Roger Goodell has the David Stern, who was the prior commissioner of the NBA, he has the David Stern mentality of wanting to go after high profile people to make examples. So they wanted a 10 to 12 game suspension. I think Rashee Rice's camp in the NFLPA, it sounds like wanted something more like a 2 to 4 game suspension. And they could not come to an agreement. And so the NFL put it to an arbiter, the same arbiter who made a judgment on the Deshaun Watson case. And the date was set at September 30th. So Rice would essentially have to wait 4 games to then find out what his suspension would be. And I think that was just not a tenable situation for Rice. And, the NFL doesn't care, but for Rice and the Chiefs, they really want Rice to be ready for the home stretch. I mean, this whole idea that pushing it to the 30th would help the Chiefs was ludicrous. I mean, we talked about it back then, not on the hidden episode, but on the prior episode, that like it would be terrible for the Chiefs if Rice got suspended in the middle of the year or the end of the year. They wanted it at the beginning. So I think that led Rice and his camp to agree to a 6 game suspension at the beginning of the year rather than waiting until September 30th. And then who knows, maybe it's 6 games, maybe it's 8 games, maybe it's 10 games from there. Like they just can't afford him being gone down the stretch run where they're trying to put stuff together for a Super Bowl run. So the NFL kind of forced Rice's camp's hand to accept a longer suspension than I think they wanted in order to make sure that they got it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. But now it is 6 weeks, 5 remaining, I guess.
Yeah.
But you could expect the Chiefs wide receiver room to get, I guess, quite a bit better in the coming weeks when Worthy and Rice are both back. One would hope they can come back at the same time, but you never know, I guess, for the Chiefs. Um,
Yeah, Rice, Worthy, and Brown have never played a game together, and they've been on the same team for over a year. So,
yeah, that's the Steelers had a similar kind of thing with Bell, Brown, Antonio Brown, and Ben Roethlisberger. There was like some ridiculously long stretch where they had played one or half of a game together or something like that. Um, uh,
I know, I
but
remember, I think on the hidden episode, you had brought up like whether Rice could just sit out the first 4 games and then they like retroactively count. And I mean, honestly, like seeing that apparently, uh, my mind is completely blank. What is the name of the Eagles defensive tackle that spat on Dak Prescott?
oh yeah,
Uh,
now the blankness is transferring. Well, we all saw it happen, right? That guy.
what is it? Jalen Green? It's Jalen Carter. Jalen
Yeah,
Green is a
Carter.
basketball player. Jalen Carter. Well, we found out from the NFL that like apparently, did you see what they said about this? They were like,
Yeah.
we decided we're suspending him a game, but since he didn't play a snap of the previous game, we're counting his suspension as already being served against the cow. I'm like, what? So by that logic, Rice should be able to sit out and
Yeah,
then wait
right.
for arbitration. Like, I don't. That was some of the dumbest thing. Like, not that I don't care. Like, I don't need or Jalen Carter to be suspended, but just say that you're not suspending him. Like, he got kicked out of the game because he got kicked out of the game. That's not serving as suspension. They're just trying to create some precedent that they can suspend people in the future for this. But that was like one of the dumbest things I ever heard. Like,
Yeah, what
he's not
happens?
suspended. He
What
got
happens if
kicked
you
out of
play
the
a
game.
half and then you get suspended? Do you get suspended for half a game for the
Yeah, like you served half of it, so then you like I can't believe they even try. Why? Why did they even try to do that? Like insulting our intelligence.
I don't know.
Like that's not and like I said, I'm not calling. I would have been perfectly fine if the NFL was just like, we're not going to suspend him for that. He was kicked out of the game. There's no suspension.
Yeah.
But to be like, we're suspending him. Oh, he already served the suspension. Like what? No, we didn't. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Service suspension before it was
Decreed that he was
great.
suspended.
Yeah, right. Um, good. What else about the offense should we mention? I mean, I know we got to go to the defensive side. We probably won't have time for all that before we have to take a break, but it's worth, lauding the special teams unit for the play right before halftime, right? I mean, that was
Yeah.
so impressive.
That was Andy Reid said that like typically what they coach is they need 20 seconds for a fire drill, and I think they did it in like 13. Uh, like, and he said it, and I think that's the thing is that Noah Gray was the catalyst for like sprinting up and handing the ball to the official. He got things moving, but like I said on the hidden episode, I can't stop myself from referencing this episode that nobody watched, but. Butker hitting a 59-yarder on a fire drill is insane. Like I feel like it's impressive to hit it like a 40-yard field goal on a fire drill. Like the fact
Yeah.
that he hit a 59-yarder on a fire drill is unbelievable.
On that, yeah.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
And that fast of a fire drill too, right?
Yeah.
Making any kick that quickly is awesome. And making a 59 yarder. Like what's his career long?
He hit a 63, 62, something like that. He has the record for the longest field goal in Arrowhead. I think it's like
Okay.
62, something like that.
It is also just worth mentioning like how good field goal kickers have gotten in the
Oh
last
yeah.
like what 5 years. I feel like it's just like this for I remember when the longest field goal made at Heinz Field was 48 yards for a long time, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on, but it's impressive, right? I mean, kickers are getting it, so, there's some kind of progress. I don't know, when maybe not, yeah. The
Yeah,
human
it's
race is making progress in some respects.
yeah, one of the few ways that we're evolving. That's funny. Uh,
But yeah, yeah, 59 yards on a fire drill. I mean, yeah, that's
and it
something.
was just the most Harrison Butker thing ever that he then missed an extra point. His next kick was a missed extra point. I feel like unfairly that is like fits Chiefs fans' conceptions of Harrison Butker. You make a 59-yarder on a fire drill and then miss an extra point.
Wasn't one of the announcers who said something like, and Bucker, interestingly, is wide left or whatever. I don't remember if it
Wide
was left
right.
or right, but yeah, wide right. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
I actually, it's funny how like football minded my brain is, and I didn't get it initially because I thought, because to me, wide right is when the Bills missed the field goal in the '91 Super Bowl against the Giants. So I was like, why is he referencing that game? Like, what does that
Why
have
is
to
that
do?
interesting? Yeah. Right, yeah.
I was like, I don't get this. Like, it was interesting when in the 2024 playoffs, Tyler Bass missed a kick to the right, and Jim Nance was like, oh, and it's wide right because that's like Bills to Bills. But I
Yeah.
was like, why are they calling him Butker wide right? Like, I had to go to social media afterward to say, like, someone said something like, I think he meant to say far right, and I was like, now I know what you're saying. Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah. Um, okay. Well, maybe we should take a break and
We can
come
like
back
rapid
and
fire the defense and then get to the Steelers. I don't want to talk about the defense so much anyway. They stunk.
yeah, sounds good. We'll rapid fire that then.
And we're back. Uh, so the Chiefs defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Want to keep it short and sweet? We could really
Yeah.
belabor it, probably, but
No, I'm okay with. I'll just, yeah, here's the concise version. Pass rush was not good. I don't care that our pressure stats look fine from like all the stat. I don't honestly, if you're watching the game, like we didn't get any pressure at all when it mattered. Dialed up some blitzes, but they weren't working on key downs. That to me was a feature of, I feel like we kind of got outcoached. The Chargers threw it more than we expected. They ran a very like old school Mike Shanahan kind of offense that has always given uh, Spags teams a little bit of trouble. And then the truth is that like the last 2 years were kind of anomalies, and but most of the time during Spags' time here, the defense has kind of played its way into being a good defense by the end of the year, not so much in the beginning of the year. The secondary also didn't look good. They struggled. A lot of it was like mental errors and people not knowing where to go. I Part of the reason I don't want to belabor it is that like it's early in the year. Steve Spagnuolo and Dave Merritt are very good coaches. They'll coach this team up. They are very good at finding out what people are good at and putting them in those roles. This isn't the same defense that's going to be there at the end of the year. They did not look good in week one.
Yeah. How much do you attribute it just to like the Chargers having a very good game plan and Herbert playing very well? Like I get like the attitude when you're like looking at it from the Chiefs' perspective is like, what did we do badly? What did we do wrong? And the defense plays, gives up this much yardage and points. You think, yeah, the defense was bad, but sometimes you just have to acknowledge that, yeah, the other team played well and they get paid too, right?
That's true. I think particularly from the game plan aspect, because I feel like Herbert, like he's going to play well when you give him good opportunity. Like I don't think everyone's like Herbert played way better than he normally does, and I'm like Herbert is this good. He has been like, Herbert always plays really well. It's just that like sometimes we out scheme them. This time they out schemed us, and so they put him in a really good position. Like if Herbert's in a good position, he's going to smoke you, and he was in good positions, so he did. I don't actually think this game made me think anything different about Herbert. Like he's really good. It's just about the thing about Herbert is when he's not put in a good position, he's not like Allen or Jackson or Mahomes at being able to figure that out. He was in a lot of advantageous positions, and yeah, he's going to absolutely cook you, which he
Right.
did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice description of it, right? Like he's one of those quarterbacks which are not the ones that like most worry you, which is, he will play really well if the game plan is good and things break the right way, right? So I think that's like they got him comfortable early, right? And they
Yeah.
kept the Chiefs off balance with the game plan, and I think that's he made really nice throws,
Yeah.
but I guess that's the kind of thing. Like he's not going to elevate the team when the game plan isn't there, or the game plan that they come in with is not working, right? Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference between him and like the other quarterbacks we think of this way, like the Jared Goffs or the Alex Smiths back in the day, and quarterbacks who like when your game plan wins, they look really good. Like the thing with Justin Herbert is that when the game plan wins, he looks like the best quarterback in the league. He doesn't just look good. He looks like, holy crap, this guy looks like an alien. Like, whereas most quarterbacks that play like that aren't like that. They're like, oh, he looks like good. Like this kid guy maybe could win you a Super Bowl. Like that's what we're saying about Jared Goff right now, right? But when it's Herbert, it's like, well, should we have him in the top three or four? Like that's what he looks like. So it's
Yeah,
unusual to have the combination of his skill set and that tendency to only seem to look good when the offense is winning.
yeah, yeah. I see that. I mean, he did look good in this one. I kind of came out of that thinking like, wow, that was impressive. But
I was actually even more impressed with Quentin Johnston because I did not have a high opinion of him, and he smoked a couple of our defensive backs. Like the route he ran on Jaden Hicks, he got him bad. He did a really great job of running McDuffie into Drew Tranquil to get open on a touchdown. I was like, huh. Like I've always been very like he's been You know how like Chiefs fans laugh at the Bills for drafting Kyer Elam after we drafted Trent McDuffie, and now he's not even on the Bills anymore. That's kind of how we were with Quentin Johnston. We are like, first round receiver, drops a lot of passes, he's not that good. Ha, it's the Chargers, and then he was just awesome in this game. And it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, maybe he's putting it together.
Yeah. I'd have to go watch again to see that, but um, did he catch two touchdowns?
Mhm.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. One was that McDuffie play where he ran him into Tranquil on the, like, it's funny because they were running a mesh route, exactly what the play, like the concept that injured Worthy. Except Nick Bolton completely murdered the tight end, so he blew him off the spot. And Quentin Johnson's like, okay, I'm not going to get my pick. So he just ran around Drew Tranquil and created his own pick and got McDuffie to run right into Drew. Like, it was a really smart route run. Like, I would, and the fact that he thought on the fly, he's like, okay, because Bolton did exactly what you should do. The tight end's coming under 5 yards, so you can hit him. So Bolton just hit him like Derwin James did to Travis Kelce, and then Johnston has nobody to pick him, and he just ran right, like he just basically rubbed shoulders with Drew Tranquil, who I wish Drew Tranquil I think was focused so much on the quarterback that when someone like brushes by you and you're just like, oh, okay, like you kind of that's kind of what he did. He was like he was standing on a train and someone was trying to walk past him and he was like, oh, excuse me, and then he ended up like bumping right into Trent McDuffie and Drew McDuffie fell down.
Excuse me. Yeah. Uh,
Like if he had
so
just stood his ground, then maybe Johnston runs into him, and then there's no touchdown on that play.
yeah. Yeah. Um, well, okay. Anything else to say about the defense then? I mean, yeah, it wasn't great, but like you sort of expect the defense to get better as the year goes on. Um, Spags will figure it out.
And Spags, like he adjusts to crazy game plans and stuff when it really the chips are down. Like Spags is a little Andy Reid-ish in that like he's building his Rolodex for the playoffs. He's showing looks and figuring. I really feel like the first 6 to 8 weeks for Spags are like I'm gonna put you all in a bunch of situations to see what you're good at, and then we're just gonna funnel into what you're actually good at, and we're just gonna only do that when it comes to the playoffs.
So it's still sort of experimentation mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can afford to do that when you have such a good quarterback, I guess. Right? Like I don't feel like we can afford to be experimenting too much. But the luxuries of
What do you mean? You have a quarterback that threw 4 touchdowns.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we could talk about that. You want to transition to the
Yeah, the undefeated Steelers, who are going to be the last undefeated team in the NFL.
according to Ajay. It was really on the edge of our seats there for this one. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Rodgers did throw four touchdowns. I mean, one of them, none of them were amazing throws, I would say. He found the open receiver. One of them was like one of those pop passes, basically, to Johnny Smith. Um,
I can't really besmirch those. Mahomes has had a lot of touchdowns on those kinds of plays back in the day.
yeah, I mean, they still count, right?
Yeah.
But were there any of these that were, let's see, going through the touchdown passes? Like Skoranek was wide open, just ran it in. Austin was wide open. Jalen, yeah, none of them were. All the touchdown passes were easy passes for Rodgers in this game, which I guess is like, it's nice. It speaks to like Arthur Smith had a good game plan, and Rodgers just had to not screw it up, right? And he didn't screw it up,
But
so that
he
was
had
good.
to follow the game plan, which I would not have believed him to do. Like, if you had told me, like, Aaron Rodgers is just going to run the Arthur Smith offense, I would have been like, no, he's not. Like, Aaron Rodgers would audible out of Matt LaFleur's plays all the time. Like, he likes to do it. Like, this was really weird. Did you
Yeah,
see the quote he
yeah.
had where he said, like, he wishes he had Tomlin for his entire career or something as a coach? It was something to that
I did
extent.
not see that. No, that's there is some oddly close relationship between the two. But but he I mean, he has talked about how like, you like Tomlin so much, you just like don't want to let him down, right? Like that's motivating him to play well or study the playbook, I guess, and do what Arthur Smith wants even. But
I mean, the buy-in is Aaron Rodgers does not seem to have a reputation as a buy-in guy.
yeah.
So the fact that, I mean, I feel like this will just add to Tomlin's legend if if Aaron Rodgers is just like, yeah, yeah, I mean, whatever coach says, like that, unless we have grossly misjudged Aaron Rodgers through his career, he does not appear to be that kind of guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't maybe this is just like the right personality combinations, such that it feels like he doesn't feel like he's being forced to do something he doesn't want to do. He's being asked to do something. I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea. But it does seem like, yeah, there's a good amount of buy-in from Rodgers and from most of the players too, I think. It feels like maybe I was talking about watching the player interviews leading up to this, and like from the past month or so, I went back and tried to watch everything the Steelers released about in terms of player interviews. And the one player that I was unsure about going in was Jalen Ramsey. It seemed like he didn't wasn't clear that he really wanted to be here or that he was really bought in. So it was nice to see him make that play at the end to seal the deal. Uh, but but yeah, I mean, it does feel like, at the moment there's a good amount of buy-in from basically everywhere on the team. And I mean, buy-in only gets you so much. You still need you still need talent and good schemes as well. But it was good enough here, but just barely. So I don't know. Um,
And that was the other bit to me that was surprising. Like Jalen Ramsey, look, he had some good plays. Like
yeah,
he, he and I guess we think of him so much like in the as a corner, and he's not just on teams that I watch that much. I forgot how physical he is.
yeah,
Like, good lord.
yeah, yeah. He. I kind of forgot that too, and he made some nice hits in this game. The I think of him as getting a lot of picks versus us. I remember he picked off Ben like many times one year in like two combined
God,
games, I
you
think.
guys had some real rough Jaguars games. Yeah, that's oh boy.
Yeah, and Ramsey was a big part of that. But yeah, okay, like maybe to be a little bit like more principled about this. The offense, it was good enough, right? It was they They, I think I was impressed with the frequency with which they had answers. Even if something didn't work on first down, second and 10 was not a huge problem. And I think that is partly just, having schemes that are good enough and then a quarterback that will find the open receiver. And I think, that's what you got when you have a quarterback that's played this game for 20 years, right? He's going to find the open receiver. He's going to see the field well, and that really did pay off for us. He did find the open receivers, and often they were for touchdowns. Um, that's the good part. The passing game, the efficiency of the passing game, I think is promising. But basically everything else I could complain about, I think. Um, uh, like the running game, I mean, the pass protection even was not that good. There were four sacks there. I don't think any of them were really Rodgers' fault. Broderick Jones allowed, I think, by two or three sacks. Not not good. Definitely not good. But so the pass protection was. He also got hit a lot more than just those four sacks, right? He got hit a good amount. Um, The running game was pretty non-existent. I think we ran for like 53 or 57 yards, something there. Um, I mean, it wasn't working that well, and then we were for a while playing from behind. So, and the passing game was working, so you can see why we didn't end up running for a lot. But we also didn't run that effectively when we tried. So, I think the run blocking was a problem. Um, Kenneth Gainwell had a surprising number of touches early on in this game. I don't think any Steelers fans really expected that. Well, I'm sure there's like someone, yeah, I expected that, but not many people that I am, keyed into expected that. Um, I did think we got a little bit more rhythm when Jalen Warren started taking more carries and he caught a touchdown. So I don't know. Like I think the offense was better than I expected, but in hindsight, it was like very expectable that it would look like this. If you told me that Aaron Rodgers is going to buy into Arthur Smith's offense, right? If you tell me that, then a result like this is not that surprising, I guess. Um, uh, I guess I should say DK Metcalf looked pretty athletically awesome. He turned two really short
Oh
passes
my
into
God,
big
yeah.
gains, but arguably that's just because the Jets took terrible angles on those passes. I don't know, but whatever. He took advantage and
I mean,
got probably
he's
like way more yak than he should have.
honestly, I feel like he might be second in the league to me to Derrick Henry as like a guy who, when he's like running full speed, I would least like to try to tackle.
Yeah, when he's running, he's like on a mission. Like
Yeah,
he
it's
looks,
terrifying.
yeah, yeah. He doesn't really look like your typical like quick wide receiver running. He looks like yeah, like a,
A lot of
I don't know,
momentum there.
yeah, like a Spartan running and into battle with an Athenian. I don't know what it would be, but like
Yeah.
he's impressive. He also he had a couple of drops in this too, though. So I think I don't know if they were nerves or what, but um, and there's the one pass at the end of the game. I just want to say like that the fact that counts as a game-winning drive is kind of funny. Uh, but so I think there was like a 19-yard pass interference penalty on it. There was a pass interference penalty, and then there was this pass from Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf that gets like batted by like Metcalf touches it, and then the corner touches it, and then some other Steeler touches it, and then it goes back into Metcalf's hands for a gain of like 11 or something. Uh, and then we're like basically right at the edge of Boswell's field goal range, and then we lose 2 yards. And so we're like outside of it technically, at least his career long. Uh, and yet he just comes in and saves us with a 60-yarder. But it was like not the most inspiring game-winning drive you could imagine. It was one of the least inspiring ones.
It's funny too because, Larry David is a big Jets fan. And Larry David, one of his like pet theories about football is that we need to eliminate kickers. He's like, I hate that kickers decide these games. It's so stupid. So apparently he was apoplectic that the Jets lost on a 60-yard field goal. He was like, this is the stupidest thing. Like,
Yeah, that is funny that uh, it's like rubbing it in his face there. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, Chris Boswell is awesome. Like, I don't know, that was a
That's
pretty.
funny is I feel like he had his run of inconsistency earlier in his career. I never would have thought he would just round out to be just the best kicker in the league. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's the best. There's so many really good kickers now, but he's definitely in the top couple. I think. Like,
I
I don't think
mean,
I
do
would
you
obviously
trust? I
trade him for
mean, I feel like I might trust Butker as much as Boswell from distance. Butker
him.
seems to always hit any like really clutch kick. But Butker will just have like the brain fart kicks that I feel like Boswell has more or less eliminated.
Yeah, he had one bad year in maybe like 2018 or 2019 or
Yeah, it's been
something.
a while, right? Yeah, I remember that at that time. It's like
But
Butker. Butker was like that in 2022. I feel like he missed like six extra points or something.
that's a lot. Um, yeah, no, I don't know that I would trade Boswell for anybody, but I also don't know that I would claim definitively he's the best kicker in the league. I mean, he's just right. He's certainly in the conversation. But um,
He's the
uh,
kicker I'd probably least like to see lining up for a game-winning kick against me.
yeah, that's fair. He's just Mike Tomlin after the game called him a serial killer. He's like, our kicker is a serial killer. uh, Meaning he's just like cold-blooded. He does not. He wants to. Apparently, he always asks him, "Is like, we got to bang him deep, coach. Like bang the kicks from deep." But this is his lingo for it. He loves to bang him deep. So, uh, he's good at it too.
Maybe like combining that with calling him a serial killer is a bit much. They should change their
Yeah,
stuff a little bit.
the two expressions juxtaposed. A bit
Yeah,
awkward.
shouldn't put those together.
Um, yeah, I guess that's what's there is to say about the offense. It was fun to yeah, to be good at offense again. Um, Defense, I kind of feel like I'm in the same boat as you. Like I don't really want to talk that much about it. They were not good. Um, the run defense was just routinely gashed, um, and the passing defense was not any better. I think, Justin Fields really played well. It was
Yeah.
awesome to see. Like that was probably better than he played any game for us last year, and he had some good games for us last year. So if he's turned a corner, that's going to be big for the Jets and for him. Um,
Not for
but
you.
yeah, yeah, I know. I said we should keep him. Come on. I mean, I guess they look smart for getting rid of Deontay Johnson in hindsight, but
Yeah. I mean, but when is, I mean, the only receiver that you haven't looked smart for getting rid of is Emmanuel Sanders, right?
yeah, Pickens. I guess the jury's still out. But
Yeah. And I still feel like you're probably fine on, you didn't get rid of Juju, though. Juju left foolishly.
yeah, well, yeah, he left and won a Super Bowl or two. How many did he win with you?
One.
One. Okay.
Hopefully two after this year. But
Yeah. Yeah. Juju made the right decision. Um, but yeah, no, the defense is a lot, gives us a lot to worry about, I think. I mean, again, like we had trouble last year with mobile quarterbacks down the stretch. This was just another example of that. Um, I think one defensive starter, I can't remember who it was, after the game said that we might have been underprepared for a mobile quarterback, which is a little puzzling because it's not like it was surprising that Justin Fields is a mobile quarterback.
you can run?
Yeah, right. He ran for I think 10 touchdowns for us last year. I don't remember what it was, maybe five. Um, but he did this last year when he was on our team, so it should not be surprising. Uh,
That's funny.
yeah, I don't know. There
It's
was
not
not
as
a lot
bad
of,
as the Chiefs saying that they came out flat. It's like, okay, like first game of the year, divisional game, supposedly revenge tour after the Super Bowl,
and you don't
and we came
care.
out flat. Oh no.
Yeah. Uh, no, but it wasn't a good performance. It was uh like there's not even a part of the defense that you're like that was good at least. I don't even know what part was good. I don't know. Everyone was bad. So I don't know what we get to play the Seahawks at home, in Pittsburgh this week, so we'll see if they can turn a corner there. The Seahawks offense didn't look that good last week. I think they put up 13.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if our defense could build some confidence against them, but I don't know. I don't think we should hold our breaths. Uh, we'll just see what happens.
Well, let's transition to a prediction. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
Um, well, it seems like I kind of, I think it kind of largely depends on who Sam Darnold is. Um, it seems like he might be the Sam Darnold not from last year, but I guess what again, it's just so hard to extrapolate from week one. I don't know yet. Um, I do think when your defense is as bad as ours was in week one, there's like you can extrapolate a bit. Like that's not a good sign. Um, but uh, yeah, if last week is a good guide, which is a big if, I think we should win this game. We'll be at home, it'll be, I would think that, the offense will be comfortable at home. They already looked pretty comfortable, um, you know, at MetLife. I guess Aaron Rodgers should be comfortable at MetLife. Um, Maybe he's more comfortable there than he will be at Heinz or at Acrisure, but I think I think the offense should be exciting-ish, at least, passable as an NFL offense, which is, not always the case for us. And I guess you just gotta, yeah, like the Seahawks offense doesn't look like it's gonna be the biggest challenge this week, so I think it might be a confidence building week for the defense, but I don't want to be I don't want to I'm not gonna be that I'm not that sure, right? So don't hold me to this. But I guess I would like if I were going to predict a score in this game, it might be like 26-14 Steelers, 26-17 Steelers.
Oh,
17
nice. I
sounds
like it.
better. Uh, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it could be way different than that. It's hard to know from week one.
Yeah, I think the Steelers' offense comes down to earth a little bit, just because this is more of just a pattern thing of like when teams look really good in week one, they look a little worse in week two. But I still think you win this game. I just feel it to be more like a 23-20 kind of game.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that's like a little more nervy.
that's that's a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit more tense. Um, but this is what you were saying, right? We're gonna win a bunch of games like this early
Mhm.
in the year, and it'll be the
I
last
know.
time they.
I just absolutely loved it to start. I was like, this is exactly. I mean, the only thing was I just didn't think it was going to be that high scoring. I thought you were going to win like 19-17, and then it
I
was
think
like
that was
what,
the
34-32.
halftime score. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
it might have been. I don't know. I don't remember. Um, yeah, 34-32 there. That was. I mean, that was a way more entertaining game, objectively speaking, than anyone thought it was going to be, including us. So I hope next week is entertaining too, but maybe less subjectively. I want it to be subjectively entertaining for Steelers fans.
Oh man, I'm just looking at the maps and realizing I'm not going to get the Steelers game. So
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I might have to get the NFL, whatever they call it.
NFL Plus Premium,
Yeah, that's right.
it's absolutely worth it. I would recommend. It's not that expensive, and you get all the national games only on mobile, though, which is annoying. But
Can you go from, because there's sometimes when like you could just AirPlay like from your phone to a bigger screen.
I
Do they
think you
prevent you
can.
from doing that?
I don't know. I haven't tried it, but because most of the national games I just get elsewhere. But the biggest thing about it is red zone and
Yeah,
film. You can see all the film.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so that's why I bought it in the first place for the film. But then getting red zone when there's like, because for me, it's like half the time Giants or Jets are on TV, and I'm like, I don't care. So I go to red zone.
Yeah. Um, what about you? Predictions for the Chiefs next week?
I am, I've like fully come around in the cope, and I now think we're gonna win. Um,
They're playing,
I
that's a big game, right? But why is it? It's the Eagles, but they're playing at like 4 o'clock. Is that right?
Yeah, but it's a national TV game on Fox. Like it's not going up against anything else on Fox.
Okay.
And we get to hear Tom Brady again, which not my favorite, but I heard that he was better this year in week one. I just didn't watch any of that game, so I don't know. But yeah, I think that this is kind of what seems to happen recently. With when the Chiefs lost to the Bucks, and then a couple years later we went to Tampa and we beat them. The Eagles lost to us, and they came to Kansas City and they beat us in 23. I do think we're going to be juiced for this game, and I also don't think the Eagles are as good as they were last year, honestly. Which is probably stupid because I never really believed in the Eagles last year until they beat our ass. So maybe I should be a little more humble. Uh, but they lost a lot of pieces, and honestly, I thought Dallas really could have beaten them in that
Yeah.
game. So,
Yeah.
but again, week one, I just don't. Mahomes as an underdog at home, he's going to play really well. Uh, it's going to be, it's not a night game, but it'll be night by the end of this game. Like, I just think that it'll be a really good atmosphere in Arrowhead. I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it'll be not very pretty, kind of similar to the Steelers Seahawks game, honestly. It'll be that kind of score. Like I think I'll say 20-17.
Um, you're right, though, that they've lost more pieces on, especially on defense, than I guess I appreciated. Um, until I was maybe Chris Collinsworth that pointed it out during the break. I don't know who it was, but yeah, they lost a lot. Um, so it's not like you're just playing the Super Bowl again, right? Like this is a totally new
And
matchup.
our offensive line is better too. Uh, the problem is we're probably not gonna have Rice or Worthy. If we had both of them, I'd feel pretty good about I mean, I would be saying we could win like, 34-27 or 34-24, but I think this is going to be like a low possession, annoying recent Chiefs game where it's just, and then we're going to have like one or two, like last time one of the reasons we lost is because Travis Kelce had a red zone fumble. So like that'll keep the score down. There'll be some dumb turnovers but I just think that the Chiefs like they need this one. Like not
Yeah.
that all is lost if we don't win this one, but one of my favorite arguments I saw online was that if the Chiefs lose this game, their aura is going to be completely gone. Like the Eagles will have beaten them twice. And then Matt Verderame of Sports Illustrated replied, "The Patriots never lost their aura, and they went 10 years between winning two Super Bowls." Like, I think the Chiefs will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it won't be completely gone, right? Like they could lose this game and then just go on a tear the rest of the year, and they'll still feel like they're the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still am feeling like this team is going to win, minimum 12 games. The question is just whether they're going to do enough to get the one seed because, Buffalo will be heard from, the Ravens will be heard from. Who knows? Maybe the Chargers are better than I think, and they'll be heard from. So,
Or the Broncos.
dude,
You must have been satisfied by that game last.
oh, yeah, you know. I was gonna make a joke if we're probably not gonna have time to because I feel like this break will probably be the end of our podcast, but we probably won't have time to recap games. But I was ready to be like, hey, I heard that since Brock Purdy's hurt, the 49ers are gonna start Mac Jones it's in his place. I was ready for that to come, but that was satisfying. It had like uh, four turnovers, I think.
Yeah, wait, one touchdown, two picks passing, and then I don't remember the other
I
ones.
mean, I really shouldn't be talking crap. Like they won a game and we lost, but I just something tells me I might enjoy this Broncos season just a little bit. I hope
Yeah.
so.
Um,
More than I'll enjoy the Chargers season, unfortunately.
I mean, who knows? Week one is still, it's just hard to
That's
know based on
that's
week.
true. That is true.
Uh, so I guess there's two ways we could go here. There was a bunch of other like fun games we could talk about from last week. Another thing we never really did when we made our predictions was to predict the season outcomes. Do you
Oh
have a
yeah,
preference
let's
on
do
that?
that. That might be a good way to cap because I feel like we won't get that much time to talk about the other games. Apologies if people were waiting for that. We'll do a better job recapping next week. We
Yeah.
recorded two podcasts this week, so we've spent a lot of time, even if we didn't give you that much content.
Yeah, that's we there's a lot of time here. We'll just say in one sentence here, Green Bay looks awesome, but again, week one, and the Ravens Bills game was insane. Okay.
Yeah, insane, and I literally turned it off at 40-25 because I was at work and I was coming home. And while I was in the cab home, the Bills came back and won the game. So, of course.
Yeah. That's when I stopped watching too, roughly. Um, okay. Well, predictions for the year. I mean, I guess,
We did championship games and then Super Bowl predictions last year, I think.
yeah, yeah. So, you want to go for the AFC Championship game after week one? What are our predictions?
Well, I just think because it's the way, I mean, I'm gonna pick Chiefs versus either Ravens or Bills,
Yeah.
and the question is who. Uh, last year was Bills, the year before was Ravens. I, I mean, I guess since the Bills beat the Ravens, I'll go Bills. I think it's Chiefs Bills, and as much as I want to say this game will be in Kansas City, I think it's gonna be in Buffalo.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I want to say Chiefs. I want to say Chiefs Ravens. I do think after that Bills Ravens game, even though it went the way that it did, I think like Ravens fans probably should feel on the whole better than Bills fans coming out of it. It's like like the way like that was a kind of fluky ending. I mean, it was amazing,
Yeah.
and Josh Allen's an incredible player, but like who was the better team for most of that game? The Ravens, and they looked like an incredible team for most of that game. So,
Yeah.
and they were playing away in Buffalo, who should have a ton of juice going into that game. I mean, like the Ravens are scary, scary good, I think. So, I think that it might be Chiefs Ravens in the AFC Championship. Are we picking the
What
what
about
AFC?
the NFC Championship? I'll let you go first.
Okay, yeah, NFC Championship. I mean, after week one, I'm a little more bought into Green Bay. The pass protection looked pretty. I didn't watch the whole game, but at least in the part that I watched, there was amazing pass protection for Jordan Love early on there. And I think Micah Parsons definitely made a noticeable difference. So I think Green Bay and I mean, how can you? I guess Philly. I was not that impressed with them in week one, but I do think they still have a ton of talent on that offense, and so I think they probably are going to be at least in the final four in the NFC. I think that they'll probably make it there. But
Yeah,
they're good.
I agree with you. Maybe if I want to be really spicy, I'll say because I don't want to give the exact same one as you. I'm gonna say Packers Buccaneers.
Whoa, that is spicy.
All right,
Is
and
that a
then
Baker Mayfield?
it's an offense thing. I mean, I think Baker will be good, but I think their offense is just it's just a really good roster, and I think Baker is enough to upset either an Eagles or a Lions or somebody to get there.
Yeah.
The other like kind of spicy one that I thought about for half a second was the 49ers, but Brock Purdy got hurt and all that, so I don't know about
He's
that.
out for a little while now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what do you think Super Bowl?
All right, I'll go spicy here. I'll say um, Ravens Packers in the Super Bowl. I think
Who wins?
I could talk myself into that being yeah. And I think the Ravens win. And I don't really like saying that, but I think they do.
I'm gonna also have the Packers, but I'll have the Chiefs beating the Packers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep. There you have it. Okay, so it's probably the Packers. We agree the Packers, and then it's either the Chiefs or Ravens. Okay.
Although I picked the Cowboys to come from the NFC last year, so maybe don't pay that
Yeah.
much attention to my analysis of the Cowboy
Maybe
or the
two.
NFC.
Or maybe I said Packers. I said
I think
something,
you
but
had the Packers, yeah.
yeah. But we have 1 week of data now, so
So we're good. We know it all.
yeah. Well, that was good. So yeah, awesome first week of football. We've got actually more starting in like 5 minutes or something. So
Yeah. I'm about to see some Commanders Packers. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Commanders
So we'll
Packers.
see about our picks there. Right.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right.
And then we will see if we can go live. I don't know if we'll figure it out by next week, but hopefully soon. And then once that happens, we can start giving you all the time that we're going to actually record, and maybe some people will join us.
Yeah, and tell us how stupid we're being while live. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of after the fact. All right. Until next time.